The final piece today is the best places to work in the UK 2026. So I wanted to bring something that had quite a lot of joy to it, because I just felt like sometimes we're talking about a lot of things that are not so great going on in the world of work. So this was recently reported in the UK. So the best places to work. The list is broken down by organisational size. So it's sort of super large, and then it goes on from that. So in the super large category, the top 5 were the Hilton, Aviva, Kids Planet Day Nurseries, Softcat PLC and Baringa. But the report talks about what some of these companies are doing, and that's why I wanted to talk about it today. So it talks about the tech company NVIDIA, which is in the large category, saying that it's fostered a culture where creativity and autonomy go hand in hand. Employees feel genuinely empowered to pursue fresh ideas, knowing that management not only trusts their abilities, but also celebrates their initiative and effort. The report also says that when you dig into the performance of the world's most successful companies, you find a repeatable pattern that any business can follow. Great leaders build trust, which shapes the culture that drives performance. Now, we know this, but it goes on to say that while many leaders are turning to technology like AI to meet their goals, their efforts often lack a critical ingredient for success, which is trust. So when companies really build trust first, they create that high-performance workplace. It outperforms the market on almost every business metric. And they enjoy higher levels of retention, productivity, and all of those things. The UK's best workplaces perform more than 4 times better than the market and see 6.25 times greater revenue per employee. So the data is pretty clear. Building trust with employees is great for business, but how do you do it? And I think that is almost the big question. Now, I feel like I'm going to preempt you talking about lists and how they get created. And I've worked in organisations where we've done this and they are filled out by employees. How that happens is another question. But what do you think the internal comms strategies are that are in place for these organisations that are contributing to their success?
I don't know why you felt like you had the preempt, but no, actually I do know. When I see lists like this come out, I'm just kind of like golf clap. I'm just like golf clap to the company. Like, I don't know. There's so many great places to work that aren't on this list because they didn't pay to be a part of the list and they didn't feel like it was important to it. So I'm not condemning those companies that are on it or whatever. It's just a list. But I think, but there again, let's say you aren't on the list, and whether you're a great place to work or not, what can you learn from these companies that are clearly being successful? I think that's the part that I would encourage people to check out, is what are these companies doing other than paying to be a part of this? What are these companies doing to be recognized in this way? So I don't know what they are, but there's stuff to learn from them. The only one I would say that I am more familiar with, of the ones that you shouted out of the 1,001 plus, is Hilton, because I've worked with them in the past. So I know how much they celebrate the brand and individuals and the history of the company and all of those things. So I think that's what I would learn. The other ones I'm just not familiar with.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there is, I mean, I also feel a bit like, it is a list. People have paid to be part of that. But there's also quite a lot of work that goes into being part of it. Like, you do have to get all of that data and get that through the organisation and analyse it and all that stuff. But I think you go for it when you know that you're doing the work to get it. But if I was working in an organisation that was of any different size, I would be looking through that list and maybe reaching out to the head of internal comms there and saying, like, what are you doing? How can you help me? Or the same sectors or whatever it is. There's definitely something to learn. It's not going to be perfect. And I'm sure you can find employees in all these organisations who aren't having a good time. But I think it's really great to look at it. Again, it's that trust piece. And I think that's the thing for me for internal comms and HR is, how focused are you on that one goal? Like, if you had 3 big goals for the quarter or for the year, how focused are you on building trust? Because I think we're still doing so much stuff because there's transformation, there's everything else, but everything has to come back to trust. And I think that's going to be such a big piece for this year.